Alright, so I'm going to be doing some location scouting for my production design class for film, and I'm going to just be walking through some of the things that I will be using for doing that, and perhaps even the process of it. So I've got my shades because it's bright outside where I live. This is just the everyday bag that I carry with me. It's got sort of these two cords, multi-tool, key fob attached to a carabiner. That way, I don't really lose them ever. It's just got basic stuff like hand sanitizer, lotion, napkins. Here's this really cheap tripod that I bought from Walmart, I believe, for like 20 bucks. It does the job for now. Again, another cheap tool that I got from Five Below for, I believe, $5 or below. This goes around the neck and you can put your phone right here and do sort of POV shots and such. This is my essentials bag. I just have things like masks in here. So yeah, I've got a Cliff Bar in there now, just in case I get hungry while I'm doing that. I at least have a little snack, and those are pretty decent. I got some extra masks, a clown nose, because I'm funny like that. More napkins, bunch of random stuff really. In here is the more important stuff, so I have some deodorant, some more cords, but most importantly, I've got what I will most likely be using today, and that's this sort of gimbal that I have, or little mini tripod. I would be using this right now, but I of course wanted to show it off. I got it from shopmoment.com. They have all sorts of stuff there. It's a bit pricey, but I thought it was a worthy investment for film. And here is my camera bag. I right now have this big bulky OtterBox case. Normally it's a much thinner case that sits right here, but I'm using that thinner case right now just because this case is a lot easier to fit into tripods, thingy things, than this big bulky OtterBox is. I've got a disposable camera right there in that pocket, a little brush tool right here for lenses in that one, and more napkins, I believe. Opening it up, you can see I've got some playing cards, more napkins. Again, I like to be prepared. I have this sort of shutter tool that connects into my iPhone, but obviously most new iPhones do not have an aux jack anymore, which is why I have the dongle right here. This is a clip-on light that I got for very cheap, but it, does work. And there is also, deep down in there, an actual camera. I couldn't tell you what it was though, it's kind of old. I know I'm not a real photographer. This is a solar-powered power bank. This thing is no joke. I have it conveniently facing upwards so that if I just want to charge something, I can plug the cord in right there on the go, and it works fine. This thing charges super quickly. So yeah, these are just a few of the things that I will be carrying with me to do location scouting, because I got to take pictures of my locations for a certain script, and I will perhaps share that in a moment. I am here in my 2010 Honda Civic. I am driving to my first location. I guess technically my second location, because my first location was actually just outside my house, my driveway. I already took photos for that. Now I have to go to my next location, which is actually a lakeside bench that is not too far from where I live. In fact, it is in my neighborhood. So I am gonna go ahead and get there, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've made it to my next spot, and I'll actually go ahead and show you what it looks like from my point of view. So yeah. So stepping out here, I am going to need my camera equipment that's in the car, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys the spot first. So this is the lakeside bench that I plan on using for one of my scenes, or at least to use to scout for a location. So there is the bench. There's actually another bench over there too, but I won't be using that one. This one's nicer and dedicated to someone. And there's the lake. Of course, the cicadas are in full effect because it's summer. So it is a hot day, but still a nice one. So here's that wide of the lake, just once again. I forgot to mention that I now have to go to my next location, which is down an avenue, and that is actually the next sort of photo or video that I have to take is actually a time lapse of the drive to my next location, and I can be doing that here in this video. I just have to get out of the neighborhood. So while you were driving, or I guess driving and doing any recording of any kind, I would like to emphasize, be as safe as possible. You know, take your precautions. At the end of the day, when you are driving is what matters. So if you're having some like glitches with your phone or your setup or whatever it may be, just don't give too much or even any energy to it at all, because even a second of taking your eyes off the road could prove to be kind of dangerous. So I was in the neighborhood and I was trying a different setup for the camera, but it just wasn't working. So I threw the camera to the side for a second, just because I noticed it was taking a bit of my attention away from driving in the neighborhood. But luckily for me, I was just in the neighborhood, so we're okay. This drive that I am taking right now is the route that I would end up taking to my next scene. And this, excuse me, would also be a scene in and of itself. It would just be time-lapsed. We have arrived to what is my next location for scouting. That whole drive was most likely either sped up or time-lapsed for my assignment. I made it, and yeah. So here I am at my last filming location. It is a residential neighborhood just a couple blocks away from where I live. It is a beautiful, cloudy, well, not cloudy, but you know, you can see some pretty beautiful painting-like clouds over there. I just felt like I had to capture that. But it is a very hot day, very bright. I wouldn't be filming at this time. The sun is very high up into the sky, just overhead. I would be filming more around sunset when the sun is over there. It is very hot. And again, must I reiterate, very bright. I have my screen on full brightness and I can still hardly see it. So I don't plan on being out here for too long, but this next shot takes place at this sidewalk right here, just at about this angle, or perhaps even this angle. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. I hope you learned something useful about location scouting. I'm not a pro or even an official location scout by any means. I am a student right now who is learning. But this is what I'm doing for my class, and I just wanted to be able to show that off. Who knows, my professor might even be seeing this himself. And this would work very well for the assignment. So again, hope you learned something, thought this was useful, thought it was cool, or all of the above. I will see you next time. Peace.